The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today. This episode of Hilltop Glove Podcast is proudly sponsored by Your Dollar Store, located at 3017 Farrell Road in Columbia, South Carolina. Owned by Brian Thomas, Your Dollar Store has been serving the community since June 2021 with a mission to provide fresh produce and essential household items to neighborhoods in need, serving areas like Booker, Washington Heights, and other nearby locations affected by grocery store closures. Your Dollar Store is a convenient one-stop shop for those seeking healthier food options and affordable essentials. Support a local business that's dedicated to giving back. Your Dollar Store, where you can shop, chat, and leave with a smile.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
Welcome back to the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today we're speaking with Terrance Tucker, who is dedicated to uplifting youth from underserved communities. Growing up in a challenging environment, Terrance excelled in sports and earned a degree in physical education. He later worked in Washington, D.C. before returning to South Carolina to launch the T.U.C.K Project in 2017, which aims to build partnerships to enhance youth support services. His initiative focuses on community engagement through meetings, volunteering, and donations. In addition to his advocacy, Terrance co-owns the Groove Smoothie and Juice Bar and enjoys sports. His vision for the T.U.C.K Project fosters collaboration among law enforcement, educators, and local businesses to empower youth. Today, we're going to learn about his journey and mission for positive community change. How are you doing today, brother man?
I am excelente.
Excellent. Hey,
Excellente.
That's even better.
Excellente.
That's even better.
Yes.
Is that Spanish?
Listen, don't judge me. Don't judge
Like, is
don't
egg
judge
warning?
me. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit of Espanol.
There we go. There we go. A little
Espanol.
spiciness.
A little spiciness.
Little spiciness. But as we always like to begin with our interviews when we talk to folks in the community, obviously I always like to tell people this. Our podcast is meant for millennials, for us to learn how to adult properly, learn ways to success, learn how processes work, because everybody does not have a guidebook or a handbook on how to make these things go. So we like to talk to people that have made things go. Right. So one of the things we like to ask, what's your background? Where are you from? Do you have siblings? What's your raising situation or upbringing? As people like, because raising, they say we ain't no barn animals.
Yeah.
So your upbringing and what inspired you growing up?
Wow, how much time do we have, man?
We have enough. We got 45 minutes to be exact.
To kind of condense it all. he said farm animals. To kind of condense it all.
Y'all can't see my face.
Yeah, they can.
I am dying over here.
But to try to condense it all, to make it kind of brief, I am from the biggest city in the world called Columbia, South Carolina. Okay. Born and raised, you know what I mean? Was raised right over there by Benedict College.
Awesome.
Right off Bonneville Road, went to Sid Johnson, man. Shout out to Benedict College.
Shouts. We get a lot of support.
Yes,
a lot of support
HBCUs,
from
man.
Benedict.
Stand up, man. Went to Sid Johnson High School.
Okay.
Proud alum. From there, played football, basketball there, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. You know what I mean?
These are stats. Google me.
By way of God, man, by way of mentors, by way of blessings, man, I found myself to be a part of this life-changing moment that got me enrolled in the best historical black college in America,
Y'all
South Carolina State University.
That's
you know what I'm saying.
That made that sound real good.
Oh yeah, man.
I can tell. That's good. We need it.
I'm just being honest.
That's what I was about to say. We need it. Just being honest.
Yeah, man. I've been there, and then I was lucky enough to get my bachelor's degree from there. Get my master's degree from there.
Oh wow!
And then I got one. Well, by me doing that, I became the first person in my family to graduate from a college.
How was and I just have to ask, I stop you here because we don't always get to talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
How was your journey in getting a master's degree?
It was extremely life-changing.
I want people. I want people to know that because it's important. Because there are folks out here, they want to go and get those secondary degrees,
right,
et cetera. But the process of doing it doesn't matter where you're at. If it's the PWI, HBCU, if you could just break down some of what that looked like with you, what you were studying, and what that reading and writing looked like.
Yeah. So I got my master's in rehabilitation counseling.
Okay.
And I.
What is rehabilitation counseling?
Working with persons with, working with persons with mental health or developmental disabilities or let's say substance abuse. It's really a psych, driven, I gained a passion for it because my mother was in that field for 35 years.
Wow.
And I saw that growing up, and I just really was intrigued. She's one of my heroes. And I had no idea when I was graduating from college, because I was just so happy just to be
I'm done.
walking across the stage.
I made it.
God sent an angel to me, man, by the name of Dr. David Statton. And he introduced me to the opportunity of getting a master's degree, because I had no idea what a master's degree was.
That's why I asked this question. Yeah, a lot of us don't.
You telling me to go back to school, bro?
Yes. Yes.
It's not happening. But he's a great salesman. And he sold it, man. And not only that, he became a mentor. And because that was something that I had never been a part of, never seen before. You know what I'm saying? But I had to he was tough on me and fair, and I had to look like the future that I wanted. So I had to stop, because you know how it is. First day of class or first week of class, you come to school with Jordans on, white T-shirts, chains, and all kinds of stuff. You looking like your pad, right? Yeah. And him and his wife, man, Dr. Bridget Hollis Statton, they took a liking to me for some strange reason, and they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and they were like, "Son, if you want a future, you have to look like the future that you want." So I had to change how I dress. I started wearing slacks and button down to class and stuff like that. Coming to work coming to class on time. You know what I'm saying, and really paying attention, not trying to cheat. You know what I'm saying? Do it myself. But it was something that helped me grow as a man, and I really learned, what accountability was from an adult aspect.
Good.
And it was something that I would always hold near and dear to my heart, because that experience really changed my life. Me getting a master's degree was something that I had never envisioned for myself. never imagined that would be part of my my future until somebody saw it and somebody spoken in me. And, me telling my dad that I'm getting a master's degree, we both like, yeah, right. Stick with the bachelor's.
Yeah, that's good.
You did it, son. But when he came down, man, for that graduation, God bless his soul. When he came down, my dad, that is, when he came down for the master's graduation, man, he was probably more happier than I was, bragging to everybody, hey, my son got a master's degree, So that was a huge moment for me in my life.
Yeah.
So everything you said was just very powerful, and I have like 50 questions, but I'm going to only ask 15.
Okay.
Cut it down.
Yeah. But you were speaking about a lot of the things that your mentor kind of instilled in you, and actually having a mentor. So it leads in kind of to the next question as far as there are so many ways to inspire others. Can you tell us about the many ways you inspire others and how impactful it is to you? So that's part of one question. Right?
Part one.
So the question that I had coming into the interview was, I saw that there were there was a guidance counselor or something that told you that you weren't made for college, right?
Right.
And a lot of times we don't understand how valuable having a person believing in you and selling you the dream can inspire you to lead a different path. So again, going back to the initial questions, do you feel that is why you are so adamant on inspiring these youth?
10,000%.
Okay.
10,000%.
And
me sitting across from this young lady at the time, who was my guidance counselor, with my mother. My goal was to go to college, because I used to see Benedict College all the time, and they used to, right, they used to be lit on that campus,
in the house,
but they used to also help persons from low income backgrounds to go to camp for free.
Okay.
So we were always going to, right, man,
Okay.
basketball camps, man, summer camps, swimming lessons, stuff like that. We were always seeing positive people, you know what I'm saying, when I went on that campus. And I was like, when you leave there, you like, yo, that's what I want to be.
Exactly.
And I told my mother that one day, when I think I was going to the ninth grade. And I had a conversation with this guidance counselor, and I said, "Hey, my goal is to, one day go to college." And she looked at me with a disappointing look and was like, "I'm sorry, son, you're not college material."
But what made her say that?
Yeah, what?
Yeah,
just my environments, man. We grew up in substandard conditions, and not a lot of people from my neighborhood went to college. Not a lot of their people went to college. We didn't have a ton of people graduating, or doing, phenomenal things currently. Now, C. Johnson, the old C. Johnson had a lot of pioneers come through.
That's what I was about to say.
Right. But that region, well, not that region, but that time period,
that era,
right? It was just people just really didn't have, I guess, the know-how or the ability, and we're not shown how to navigate. You know what I'm saying? Those troubled waters.
Yep.
And so we believed what we saw, which was nothing. And there were no brochures, no college brochures. Whenever you walked into the, if you went to Benedict College, you were smart. Like you were the creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody up here acted up, y'all.
We didn't have people going to USC, Clemson, all that. Yeah, come on, stop. You're lying. You're lying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you went to like Millen's Tech or something like that, bro, bravo to you, right?
Yeah,
and so I thought, okay, well, Benedict is right down the street. You know what I mean? That's something that I can do. You know what I mean? Possibly.
Attainable.
Right. You know what I mean? And she had no idea how that 5-minute conversation killed the next 5 years of my life. Because I lost all, my confidence, my academic confidence. You know what I mean? And I was like, but what was crazy is, what was she right? Like, what if she's right? You know what I mean? Because, when you're not the best student, right?
Yeah.
you start to kind of,
you sow those seeds of
you doubt yourself.
Self-doubt.
You doubt yourself. Yeah. So then you become the class clown because you really hurt though.
True. You really don't realize
you really
that
hurt.
Class clown.
You hurt. You hurt.
Hey, but you become Kevin Hart.
Right. I mean, you could.
Wait,
you could.
Pain, turn pain.
You could. But I transferred that energy, into my sports. So I became real good at basketball and football, and track. But I had no idea that you needed grades to go to college.
Oh yeah.
Nobody told me to take the SAT. Nobody told me to take the, you know what I mean? Like nobody told me to take this stuff serious until my senior year when it was college just knocking like, hey, bro, we want to see if you qualify to get in our school. I said,
crunch time.
Qualify to get in? What you mean qualify to get in your school?
Yeah.
They said, well, you got to meet this standard and this requirement and this standard.
Yeah.
And I was striking out on all of them. Nah, I don't meet it. I don't meet it. Because I just didn't take it serious. Yeah. I didn't take my academics serious.
There was no prior foundation.
That 5, nah. And see, my parents didn't go to college.
Yeah.
You see. So they were fine being blue-collar workers. My neighbors didn't go to college. We looked up to the local trash men because they played ball with us whenever they came by the neighborhood.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
So my man, he's, whenever you see that big truck, they come out, give you a little money every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
That's garbage men.
And they playing basketball.
They make sanitation workers make some good money.
They make good money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they were always positive when they came around.
That's dope.
So you're looking like, well, that ain't a bad job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like that,
and then a lot of my friends were getting those jobs. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, well, that may be my next step. So maybe she right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not college material because of my environment.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, not to actually get off your topic,
because I got more questions on this one topic.
Right. but when I graduated, I went down to Denmark Tech, and I played ball there 1 year. I got put out because I wasn't going to class. Oh. And so I came home and became a janitor.
Okay.
For a school in District 5. And I was a janitor for almost 3-4 years. And there was a principal named Dr. Wick there. And one day when I was mopping the gym floor, getting ready for one of their big rivalry games, the guy came up to me and said, "Hey man, what are you doing here?" I told him, "Well, it's my shift." He
said, "That's not the question.
What I'm doing here?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said, "No, son. What are you doing here? Like, why are you 22 years old and you're my lead janitor? Like, why aren't you in college somewhere?" Because there have been teachers wondering why is a guy like him, cleaning toilets and stuff like that. Like he's, and you never know who's watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the guy eyes on you.
You never know who values you when you don't even value yourself. And I'm looking at this man like, what are you trying to do here? And he's trying to pour into me what I don't even think is available.
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Point.
And he said, "No, son, you are college material because here's why." Boom, 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 boom. He was the first man to ever tell me that I was college material. My dad loved me, but my dad was cool with me working, not going to jail. You see what I'm saying? And I was scared to be better than my dad because my dad was the best man that I ever met in my life.
So that was a goal that you were.
Yeah. So long as he good with what I got going on, I don't care about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to be better than him because I didn't think that was possible because my dad was a preacher.
Oh.
A phenomenal man, community man. Yeah. Right. And I was like, listen.
Preacher kid.
Right. So I'm good with just being average.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but he spoke something in me that awoke in me. And was like, "Hey, bro," but it challenged me also, and I think
that's one of the things that I think is big for youth and mentorship and just elders speaking to the youth. It's not just telling them stuff to do, but giving them a challenge.
Get them a challenge
because they love challenges.
Yeah,
it may not seem like it. Oh, they love challenges.
Yeah,
give them a challenge and then a reason for completing the task, and they'll go get that work done.
No. Listen, that was the best challenge that I ever had. Yep. You know what I mean? Because he also helped me to my mother's sister was working at South Carolina State University during the time, and they teamed up to help me get in South Carolina State. Now, don't ask me how, because it might have been against the law.
Hey, man, hey,
people
see all the
lying,
people they coming for people. They coming for people. Cut. Hold that. Rewind.
Nobody record this, okay? All right, just mind your business.
We got another controversy.
Mind your business.
Just mind your business.
But they got me in that phenomenal school, which changed my life. So that's why I started my mentoring program, to help young men who were told the exact same thing that I was told, that they're not college material. I'm not saying that that you have to go to college, but
if that's
that mindset of you can't be something because of because of what somebody else thinks.
Not true.
We try to kill that mindset.
Exactly.
But that comes by, trying to expose. Exposure is key.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
To the nature versus nurture.
I'm telling you,
got to have
that's
another
key.
vision.
So that's what we do, man. So that is the T.U.C.K Project. That was born that day when I was sitting in my guidance counselor's office. Was that when I come back, when I have an opportunity to actually come back and give back? That's what I'm gonna do. Help young men cross that bridge.
Yo, I gotta ask this controversy again. You seen that guidance counselor recently?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So when I
pull
my mother, man, God bless her soul, Gussie Tucker, I love you and I miss you. Okay, my parents died in 2020. My mom died of COVID, and my dad died 2 weeks later.
Oh.
Rest in power.
So I, when I graduated from college, my mother was super petty. Extreme, one of the pettiest people you ever meet in your life, okay? But she was a proud petty, right?
Okay.
And she got my diploma and mailed it to the lady.
Petty proud.
You said what? You wasn't gonna do what?
And mailed
Look,
it.
this is your copy.
Yeah, here's your copy. You feel me? And we used to ask her, yo, man, why you did that? Yo, you got to stop. You know what I'm saying? But she was so, because she saw the pain. And she saw the long nights of just working hard, man, back-breaking work. You know what I'm saying? Man, I worked for Belk Distribution Center, loading trucks for, man, 15-hour days, you know what I'm saying? National Tire and Battery, you know what I'm saying? Changing oil, changing tires, you know what I'm saying? For a long time, you know what I'm saying? Working at FedEx, man, loading airplanes.
I like people hearing this
because
that journey it's not an easy one.
Because I'm like, even the 5 years,
right?
That built you,
right?
Up to this point. So no one can, I don't believe, could break your confidence anymore.
Nah. Because I've seen it. You know what I mean? And I know how it tastes. And I know, but I know how it feels to not believe it. And I know how it feels when people put those blinders on you. And they telling you, no, here's what you're going to do. And here's your worth. Here's your value. Okay, so whatever you believe, kill it. Okay, because here's your worth. And there are so many young men who believe that, who never got the opportunity to live out their dreams. And, so many young women as well. Don't get me wrong. But there are so many people who are being blinded by these guidance counselors. Not all guidance counselors.
There are good ones.
Some guidance counselors.
Like police officers.
Right.
Good and bad.
There are some good ones. But there are some.
Be quiet.
There are some who are really pouring some toxic information into these kids, man.
And when you say that just makes me think that like there should be like some type of stipulation, some type of
I was waiting to hear that.
Where you have to go through a mental evaluation before you come in here, because the point, or at least the point was for school, is to help inspire future leaders, future developers,
your society, the people who,
So why are you going into the place where these minds are being cultivated and start breaking them before they are able to build? Now, I will say this, because I'm always like that person on the double side. It's like, because it's like, for me, and listening to your story and the journey that you went through, it's like, because you went through this, now you have a sense of relatability, right? You're able to what's the word I'm looking for? Empathize with others. So sometimes, where they say don't meet people where they are, you can actually meet them where they are and pull them out. So it's like that 5 years that you went through, was not the end of the story.
Right.
It was just the beginning. I need you to go through this, so when you encounter the next soul that's encountered this is what you're meant to do for them, because you were there too. And I think a lot of times that I've seen, and this is why I'm so happy that I'm looking at our community and I'm seeing our community come together in this way, because before you would have someone like yourself go through this and then do what? Continue moving forward, not coming back, not educating, not say the word again.
Not empathize.
Empathizing.
Yep.
Like,
We got you. We got it. We got you. We got you.
So it's like, I don't know, because I believe that you've healed.
Oh yeah.
I feel the healing.
Yeah, you don't seem like you're bitter.
And
I'm not.
I love shout out to your moms.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Because I'm that petty
my
person.
baby.
Listen, I would have showed up with a band. You know what I'm saying? With a big old banner. You said my son was in there.
Right.
Let me tell you, that was a moment for me and my family. There were several gentlemen that I graduated with who were also first generational college graduates, and man, we just had a moment prior to that graduation. Man, we had a moment, man, to ourselves where we just looked back like, yo, bro, we did this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the journey.
We did this, man, and like it was not easy, because my first year at State, my stipulations, part of my stipulations, where I had to work in the cafeteria for free the whole year.
But did you get food?
You got food.
Hey,
I got food.
That matters. That matters so much. Personally, it matters.
Marilyn Scott, I love you. Okay, Marilyn Scott, man. She was the cafeteria director. Marilyn Scott, you know, I love you. And she said, as long as you come to work on time, you go to tutoring, and you go to class, you can eat whenever you want to eat.
Oh, wow.
And I said,
Was it good
cheat
food?
code.
I got
They
you.
have fried chicken Wednesdays or Thursdays?
Every single day.
Ooh.
Oh, this
You
is
know what I mean?
state we talking about.
Every single day.
This is
It was
state.
fried
This ain't
chicken every day.
Clemson.
And rice and
This ain't
gravy?
Clemson.
And see, the
still
beauty
offering
in this, the magnificent part about all of that was that during my first semester, they made me stay with my grandmother, Vernell Tucker. God rest your soul. Vernell Tucker. And it was torture, because my grandmother said, you got to be in the house by 8 o'clock.
I was about to ask. You had a curfew
yeah.
in college.
Now, I'm like 24 years old.
With a curfew.
A freshman. And she's saying, you got to be in the house by 8 o'clock. So my question to my students is always, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? Because I had to sacrifice parties. You know what I'm saying? Parties, hanging out late, all this stuff. But the silver lining in that was that every night she got a hot meal from me.
I'll take that. I'll take that over.
Every night when I came home, she had a hot meal. Like she had a refrigerator full of food.
Wow.
And man, she would be sitting up, man, waiting on them plates to come. What they have today? But that was a blessing.
Yeah, that's
you
a
see
blessing.
what I'm saying? But that helped me get through college. Well, my first semester.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because just me not having those distractions.
I like that.
Right?
I was waiting to hear. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And me having to be home, me eating when I can, you know what I'm saying? Me eating when I want to eat.
It matters.
You ain't had to pay for it either.
Right.
Yeah,
you know
that's one of the
saying?
reasons why you
Right.
suffer.
You know the cost of eggs?
Yes. Oh, Lord. No,
Cost
not
of eggs
today.
going up.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Like $12
Yeah, man.
for 12 eggs.
Shout out to Marilyn
$1
Scott.
egg.
Shout out to
There
Marilyn
better
Scott.
be. It's some feed.
So I feel like, with everything that you just said, you kind of went into the next question as far as intention. Attention versus intention.
Yeah.
Yep. Attention versus intention. So, and this is what. It's one of those things where the words get messed up. But no, you did jump right into it. You jumped right into it. But intention, it refers to a specific plan or goal in the future. Attention refers to present moment awareness.
Right.
And so the question is, can you explain the importance of both aspects as a man, and how has your intention to achieve goals changed over the years? So from being in college and attaining those goals and being able to put your attention where it needs to be to get to the intention.
Yeah.
How has that changed from that time to now?
You know, we change year to year, man. We're always changing.
Yeah.
And we're always moving the goalposts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The goalposts don't ever stay.
Yeah, I mean, it never stays right. I mean, it never stays there. And you learn as you grow. Like people think that, you know, once you become a certain age, you stop growing and you stop, you know what I mean? Like, we grow every year. Something has to change every single year. And I have, you know, the birth of my son changed me because now I have to live for somebody else. You know what I mean? And now I make sure that I make time for what's important in my life. And I make time for myself as well because mental health is
How do you do that?
important.
That's always how do you make time for yourself and do what it is you need to do to assist and help others? Because I know we're about to ask you about my brother's keeper.
Yeah.
And then also have a family and your child.
I think it's about, you know, just like you said, man, being intentional, you know, carving out space for yourself. You listen, you have to be greedy sometimes, you know what I mean? You got to be greedy.
Yeah.
You have to be greedy.
Go ahead, raise it.
Yeah, raise it.
I mean, because
raise it.
When people ask that question, I always be like, you went to college, right? So when you went to college, you had to take what, math, English, all of these in one semester.
Yeah.
So why do they think like and not, you know, not anything to you, but like, why do people feel like
shots fired?
You know, you can't do multiple things when you have to do multiple things. Like everyone wears multiple hats. Like, and being able to, like you said, intentionally know to handle this and this and this and this. But I always say, go back to college. Like if you were fortunate to go to college or even school, you had probably 3 tests each week that you had to study for. Homework.
Facts.
You're in science, English, and math. Math might have something to do with science. It might have touched. But really,
Ain't full
you ain't had to do CO in math.
Right.
You know, or, you know, and you might have had to read, but then you had to read and write a paper all in the same week.
Right.
So like if you're able to do that, and I think college is a great way to teach people how to manage that. I just think that a lot of people don't connect that to life.
Right.
They separate it. It's like, and I know for a lot of people, once you leave that college environment, it's like those lessons that you learn at that time, they no longer are bought into the real world.
Right.
When I think that microcosm at college is preparing you for the macrocosm of the real world.
No, that's real.
I think that's the truth.
That's real.
And I think the only difference that I see between the two is when you bring a child into the equation.
Oh, yeah.
Because a child, and we do have some parents on our team.
The game changes.
Yes,
it's the playoffs now.
Yeah, right? This ain't regular season Wednesday night 7:30 game.
You know what I mean?
This is prime time. No, this is what I'm saying.
I'm like, I ain't got no kids, so I'm staying out.
So I know Mike and my brother Skip, they have kids. They have children.
Yeah.
And I watch these people.
Yeah.
And I work with mothers.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what this one lady told me, and then I want you to elaborate on this. This one lady I work with, she told me this. Bless her. She is a mother.
Yeah.
She had a child. The child decided they wanted to change an activity they're doing to do another activity. The new activity they want to do costs over $450 for them to start the activity, not regarding monthly fees. Yeah. This child's already in another activity. The mother says, you know what I'll do to help cover the cost is we have to sell the stuff from your other activity so we can move it over here to this cost. Wow. The child said, yeah, that'll be excellent. And when you do that, you'll save money. The child not knowing that there are other costs associated to rather than what, or unbeknownst to them, what they know about. Wow. Not realizing mom's not even telling you that. She's just making sure it gets done.
Come on.
Meanwhile, she's making the stuff from scratch that you need for your other activity. Yeah. So she's a crafts person. She cooks and bakes. Wow. She goes to work full day. She nurses and she's doing all this stuff. And all she asks for is to sleep.
Wow.
And so when I think about that, I'm like, Lord Jesus, how's she doing this? How's this person doing this? So when I see parents and y'all successful, it really is impactful to me because I understand. All right, y'all doing magic out here. Yeah, y'all going between you literally in Harry Potter. Y'all stepping between that little weird track on the substation and following through.
It's melatonin.
It's melatonin. That's what it is. Wait, be quiet. Y'all drunken in babies.
Yeah.
Listen,
You gotta slip him something.
Can someone say,
They do, they
You gotta
do.
slip him something, man. You gotta slip him something.
I feel so bad, but you know, as a babysitter, I was like, my nephew, I said, you know what? Where's this melatonin?
Stop.
You said 2 or 3.
Yeah.
They used to give us Benadryl, so I'll take the melatonin over the Benadryl. But
man.
just to say that, like, how are you doing that stuff? And then I do, after we finish, I want you to go into My Brother's Keeper, but like, how are you balancing that and then making sure also, because I'm learning this is going to my 3rd year marriage, also making sure that your spouse is happy if you have a partner. Because you got to show them love. You got to make sure you're taking care of them. How do you do that, bro?
Well, so with me, my situation is a tad bit different because my son lives in Georgia.
Okay.
And so me and his mother, shout out to her, we do a great job co-parenting.
That's even harder.
Yeah, extremely harder. You have to be mature to be a co-parent.
Yes.
You have to be mature. You have to grow up in so many different areas. You know what I mean? But you got to make time to go see your child. And spend time with your child.
Yes.
And so because Bobby being a mentor, it's harder because
that's what you're doing.
So now with me working with so many young men who don't have dads. Who dads won't even call them. Who may be showing out in class when the teacher thinks that it's them when really they mad about their dad.
See,
and you don't even know this. You see what I'm saying? But I know it though.
Women go through that too.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know. So, you know what I mean? So I make it my business no matter what I got going on, right? We talk about, and this goes back to making that sacrifice.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice fun for what's important. You know what I mean? And I love to have fun, yeah. But I got a little boy up there that loves Spider-Man.
Hey.
So I got to make sure my little man get his Spider-Man, right? So I go up there, you know what I mean?
Spider-Man's
and we make
like
time,
the dopest.
you know, and FaceTime has been huge for us.
Technology.
Right. You know what I mean? But I make sure that I make time for myself as well. And I make time for my business and just my family.
And your mental health, though. Just to say.
Oh, yeah. You gotta, going to the gym, going on walks and stuff like that is extremely important as well because your health is wealth. You know, and you can't help nobody if you need help.
I had to learn that the hard way sometimes. But that goes right into the question about talking about helping others, just what you're doing with your project. Of course, taking on responsibility to care and protect other young men. It is not publicized enough. Specifically in our community, we have a lot of publicizing of negative behaviors, actions, because it might lead to wealth or opportunity. A lot of it is through music and entertainment, but also criminal aspects and et cetera, scammers.
Yeah, right.
Forgetting those scammers.
Yeah.
And but the effects of having a role model, a positive role model that is to hold you accountable, is necessary in life for anybody. It doesn't matter your age. And I like that you said it doesn't matter your age. It's always good to have somebody to do that for you. How do you encourage other men to help support the T.U.C.K Project and volunteer their time with the youth? And then also, if you could just talk a little bit about the aspects of the program and how you all assist youth.
I think it's about just, showing the worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, men don't know how valuable they are because they don't, value themselves.
Preach. That's why we be dying so early, because we ain't necessary.
Right. You know what I mean?
I wish we did. We need preach.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that sometimes men think that you have to be a millionaire to be a mentor, or you have to own
it's only about finances.
You got to be this phenomenal giant to give back and mentor young men. You can be the average Joe Blow, but your life experiences is a gift to somebody who's not been through anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you hear young men coming up and they're going to, go through life experiences that men, different men can actually help with. There are some young men that I can't help, but you tell them your story, your experience, they may be like, you know what, brother, you know what I mean? Because voices, man, tones, different styles, different cadences, different lifestyles, right? different demeanors. We have young men who are naturally quiet.
Good point.
So they gravitate to quiet men.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then you have men who are just boisterous,
Crashing out.
braggadocious, right? Who are, you know what I'm saying? Who have a high personality, and they, and you see what I'm saying?
You got to meet them there,
right? You got to meet them where they at. You got to meet them where they at,
yeah.
Right. So it's good when when I have men to come talk to my young men. Mm-hmm. I bring several different,
different
men,
backgrounds,
regular men. 95 hardworking man.
I like that, regular man, hardworking man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Military, whatever, cop, firefighter, whatever. You work at a plant, whatever you got going on, you can be an asset. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people don't value themselves, and they have a different, perception of what a mentor is. You know what I'm saying? And I think that all men can be mentors. All women can be mentors. We have female mentors mentoring men sometimes. Mentors. Well, okay. Wentors. Wentors, y'all.
Yeah, wentors, man.
I like that.
But you have to meet them where they're at. You have to show them that you love them. And you have to be consistent because they will not listen if you're not consistent.
Who? Say that one more time.
They will not listen if you're not consistent.
Ooh.
Okay, showing because most of them have already been disappointed by a man.
Yep.
Okay.
Where's the place?
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? So
you ain't lying.
You got to be consistent. Yeah. You got to feed them too.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
You got to feed them.
You got to feed them.
You know what I mean? And you got to expose them. Okay. You know what I mean? Yep. And when you're doing all this stuff, when you do get on them, and when you do show some tough discipline,
hold them accountable.
They listen differently. You know what I mean? Yep. They may not want to hear it. But they're going to stand there and listen because they know that you love them. Versus somebody who ain't showed no love, who ain't, showed no intent, who haven't made no sacrifices for them.
Back to that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, make some sacrifices.
Yeah, so when you got a young man who don't know what, what he going to eat tonight, right? And then you take him to, Chick-fil-A or, a Zaxby's and feed him.
You ready? I'm going to mess with you. Kava. You take him to Kava.
Oh, Kava or something like that, right?
Good Life Cafe. And the vegan eatery. You see what I'm doing?
You take them there. You know what I'm saying?
I hope they pay.
Okay. And
we're working on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you take them there.
Yeah.
And you let them eat.
Yeah.
And you let them talk.
Okay.
Or you just sit in silence.
Yeah.
That right there, you're peeling back that onion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yep. And so now when it's a real situation going on, who they gonna call? And you gotta deliver.
So I have a question, right? Because, I feel like when you're working with kids and you're working with youth that are, let's say, trauma or living in trauma or trauma. I can't even think of the word right now.
Have traumatic life experience.
Yeah. There we go. I knew I could turn to you. It's like, in wanting to get exposure for your organization, right? Social media. We talked about social media a lot.
Yep.
And social media is like this platform where we can bring people from different states, countries, all over the world, we can connect and bring awareness to certain initiatives. But I think the hardest part has been sometimes these kids they sometimes already feel used.
Right.
And so when you're trying to push your narrative to show this is what we're doing, how do you I don't know how to ask
how do
this
you get
question.
buy-in?
Not even buy-in, balance, right? Because the kids, this man only here because he wanna record us.
I see what
you know what I'm saying? He took me to Chick-fil-A and got a camera in my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
how do you make it look like you're not trying to take something out of it?
Yeah, hey, look, the more exposure I can get on the things that we're doing and serving, the community or whatever, the more support, financial backing we can obtain, and the more we can do for others.
Right.
So it's how do you sell that not only to the kids,
how do you sell it to them?
but also not
I know the word you want to
let's
use.
just say like all the work exploit, but not break all the work that you and trust that you build with the kids.
Time. You can't save all of them. First off.
Be honest. I like that.
You
like that. You can't.
You're not gonna reach all of them either.
That's true.
So once you understand that, then it's easy. You know, my mindset was always, to follow my dad's footsteps. My dad would always say that if I can just save one person a day, my job is done. So if I can just save one young man that moment, my job is done. But I have to keep showing up. You just got to keep showing up and showing that you care, And we don't always have phones out anyway, because most schools you can't have phones anyway.
That's true without a VPN.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I learned that directly. I learned that directly from the youth.
Then they gonna try to
they be doing
figure a way to now stop us from VPN.
They can't stop no VPN. Even China can't stop no VPN.
Yeah. I love VPN.
Wink. Shout out to the VPN company.
Apple.
But just showing up, man. Showing up, doing stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? And, don't be fooled. They like that stuff now.
Yeah, they love getting like it's corny, but they like it.
They love TikToking, dancing.
You ain't gotta ask.
Like that. You gotta ask nowadays because you might be on their TikTok.
That's true. You gotta let them know you need to ask permission before you post this.
Did I sign a disclaimer?
Right.
Take that off.
Stuff like that. The biggest problem we've had, man, throughout my years of mentoring is just the parent buy-in.
Wow, that's surprising.
Parent buy-in.
That's surprising.
It's hard.
And why? Why do you say that?
I mean, I just don't have no idea why. Just the lack of just caring, the lack of showing up. We'll have parent night sometimes. Maybe have like 2 parents show up.
What?
Man.
And it's, we go to the schools.
You try to meet them where they're at.
Meet them where they're at. You know what I'm saying?
So what type of, are the parents and the youth that you help, are the parents like, I don't know how to ask this without just being bluntly
Be blunt.
Is this like Section 8 housing? Or
it's all over.
All over.
Yeah,
so, because, what I have learned in certain instances is that a lot of parents sometimes can't afford programming because, right now eggs is $12. So most of them are working 2 to 3 jobs. So they like when we talk about the work-life balance, we find that by the time they get off, there's not that much they can do. And a lot of kids tend to be raising themselves through TV.
Right.
Or,
or via social media.
Via social media now, right? And so, it's just like trying to figure out a way, trying to figure out the way to actually get more parents involved. Because, one of my friends has a homeschool organization, and we have this conversation all the time because you would think some of the parents are stay at home.
Right. Right.
How do you get the parents to do more in the organization?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, is there a digital way to connect with the parents?
We've done Zoom.
Okay.
Zoom calls, stuff like that.
Did you have more participation on Zoom or?
At times, but it's just some parents just don't care, man.
Be honest. It's been like that. It's been like that since 1933.
I'm trying parents.
It's been like that since 1933.
If it's important,
1933.
Yeah, they used to put kids used to work 12 hours a day.
Let me say this, because
I know that we. Work?
Until we got child labor law. This all the stuff he's talking about. This ain't nothing new.
Well, because actually, the more bodies, the more money come into the household.
Well, let me say this, because I know we short on time.
Yep.
If you can show up to buy Jordans, then you can show up for your child.
Dang, all right, he done killed the argument. That's it. All right, so as we wrap it up, I think that's tag that, we running that in the reels. Yeah. But as we wrapping up, if you could tell us about some things going on with you and give us your social medias so people know how to get in contact.
Follow the T.U.C K Project. We're on all platforms, man. TikTok, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, man. Terrance Tucker or T.U.C K Project SC. Follow your boy, man. God bless y'all, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Certainly, and if they want their children to be able to get into your program.
TUCProject.org. TUCProject.org. and hit me up. Send me your number. There's a list of questions. You just follow that, and we'll reach out to you. Most definitely.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, for the Hilltop Glove podcast, this is DJ and what?
Desiree.
Mike.
Samaya.
Skip.
And our esteemed guest, Terrance.
Mr. Tucker. Yes, sir. Terrance Tucker, man. Tuck, what's happening, man?
Excellent. Well, we appreciate y'all. As we always like to tell you, make sure you tell somebody next to them that you love them, that you appreciate them. Until the next time, y'all be peaceful. Peace.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast.